Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. This episode, we're to be studying a piece by the established AI generative artist known as Indart 17. This episode, we're going to be talking about realistic texture, we're going to talk about the impact of light, and we're also going to talk about divine destinations of the highest order. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this work, really with this lone tempo here, right, where it kind of floods and strikes us instantly, viewer likely feels a sense of ascendant awe due to such a sacred sight before them here. What you'll notice in the realm of color, the main base here surely is this kind of goldish, yellowish orange, but within that we have kind of a little bit of red and a little bit of green as well, right? So that makes this kind of a split complementary scheme. The impact, of course, emphasizes the color orange or the color gold, but also leaves a bit of balance for that green and red, right? So incredibly important when we're looking at this work. So you'll notice this incredible sense of texture throughout the work, right? Everywhere from the kind of roiling clouds to this kind of rigid and incredibly ornate temple. I have a quick reference. We're going to take a look at actually Angkor Wat from Cambodia. See what we can learn here about this kind of ornate texture. Alright, so on the left I have a photograph of Angkor Wat. It's actually a Hindu temple in Cambodia, I believe, and the place is absolutely stunning, right? It's massive as well. If you guys have ever seen a floor plan, if you've seen any pictures of it, it just dwarfs the viewer. Even here you can get a sense of that, right? Oh wow, oops. Even here you can get a sense of that, right? If someone's about, 6 feet tall, you can imagine just how large that structure is. They're carved, they are, decorative to the highest degree. Now that really displays the status of the scene before us here. Carved, they are, decorative to the highest degree. Now that really displays the status of the scene before us here, right? It feels like we've, walked up on this incredibly ornate, this kind of sacred or divine destination. So we certainly see that, especially in Cambodia and within the work we see today. So one thing I want you all to pay attention to is kind of the layout of the composition here. If you kind of look at the form of just our main subject, it actually follows a triangular order there. This is actually incredibly important. So many different pieces follow this kind of order. It's not top heavy by any means. Imagine if you flip this on its head, it would feel very strange. It would feel surreal in a way as well. So there's this sturdy base that kind of points up into the top, very ordered and very harmonious as well. What also kind of achieves this ordered impact is a near symmetrical spatial composition. So we see this mirrored across this vertical central axis here, incredibly important, gives a sense of high harmony in that visual experience. And like I said, just like that sense of kind of the triangular order, it feels like we've reached a divine destination as it's in perfect harmony and perfect order. And of course, that's how we measure beauty in so many different ways. What you'll also notice is this grand sense of scale, right? If this is, of course, this is an AI generative work, so it's a bit impressionistic, if you will. So if you look at this lone subject, it appears to be a subject. That's kind of my guess there. If this person is about 6 feet tall, you can just imagine how large this scene is here. So this grand scale just dwarfs the viewer instantly, right? And it gives this conveyance of such a sacred destination. And so the presence of these clouds are quite interesting, right? They almost kind of shroud the scene in a way, especially near that front, right? Kind of just emerges from that. It feels like we're walking up on a scene of kind of revelation or reveal, if you will, right? The clouds are absolutely stunning, and they are kind of perfect to not only convey the divine destination, but to also kind of reveal the scene before us here. I think that's incredibly important. What you'll notice, of course, there's so many different things you could draw here. Perhaps we are kind of the lone hero finally reaching this divine destination after going through the hardest of times. There's so many different metaphors you could truly draw here. For example, the lone hero kind of walking up on this. Imagine how that would feel, right? This kind of floods you instantly. You would probably, that hair would stand up on the back of your neck. It would just an incredible sense of awe, right? That I think that's just so important here. And of course, there's no doubt that we've reached a divine destination of the highest order, right? Actually, the original artist has another piece that kind of drew my eye. This actually reminds me a lot more of Angkor Wat than, say, this piece here, at least in form, but all three, of course, have that incredibly ornate nature that we were talking about. So this is also from the original artist Indart 17. Or sorry, I think Indart 7. So you'll notice, of course, this incredible roiling texture in the background, almost like a moment of reveal, incredibly large as well, and also feels like a divine destination. When we talk about divine destinations, they almost always have this kind of golden light or clouds around that, right? We look at the sky as the realm of the gods. So anything that's associated with the sky, whether it's clouds, whether it's kind of wings, birds, anything like that, that's always going to be connected to the divine in some way or another. Absolutely stunning piece. It's really hard to imagine imagine what it would be like to walk up on something like this. You could draw countless metaphors here from, like I said, the lone hero finally reaching here to the, eventual gates of heaven that Christianity talks about. There's so many different metaphors that you could talk about, right? Truly a heavenly sight before us here. With this in mind, what do y'all feel when you view this piece? Sorry, how do you feel when you view this piece, and what do you see when you view this piece? I think those are two incredibly important questions when we're looking at this work. So I mentioned a bit earlier, this is an AI generative artwork, so it was created in an AI art program. It is going to be Midjourney, of course, offering the perfect mix of kind of accessibility and power, if you know what I mean. Everyone from beginners all the way to professionals use Midjourney. So if y'all want to get into the AI generative art world, if you're even, slightly interested in Midjourney, I would surely suggest that, check it out. At least give it a try for yourself and see what you think. I truly hope y'all enjoyed today. If y'all did, go check out the original artist, Indart 7. I believe I'll call her Indart to be a little bit more accurate there. Really hope y'all enjoyed today. We talked about so many different things, from AI generative art to this grand sense of scale, harmonious symmetry, the impact of texture, color, of course, Angkor Wat in Cambodia. There's so many different things we hit on today. I truly hope y'all enjoyed. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.